All right, everybody, we're back. Today we're gonna do a prediction video for the upcoming UFC event, which is UFC 312. Dricus versus Sean. Sorry. Yeah, and let's just jump right into it, right? So we got our first fight of the night. Our first fight of the night is Park Yun-sung versus Niam Yargal Tumen Demberel. All right. I see this one as a fight that's really tough to score because they're both pretty new to the scene. I don't know much about them. But Park Yun-sung seems to be having the more well-rounded game, so I give it to him. Also, he has a lot of finishes, a lot of first-round finishes. I think he might take it to the second round. Whether that's because Tumen Demberel is a tougher competition or because he's trying to approach a little bit more carefully, we will see. But I think Park Yun-sung is going to finish this fight in the second round. All right. Next fight, we have Aquilin Salkild versus Anshul Jubli. Also both pretty new, but Jubli had his, or Jubli, I don't know, had his, I think Jubli, because it's other than English, no one says J. I think Jubli had his UFC first fight, he lost it, and he got finished. Salkild hasn't lost yet, and in my mind he fought also tougher competition, so I'm leaning more towards Aquilin Salkild in this fight. Yeah, that's what I think. All right. Next up, we got Jonathan Mikalev versus Kevin Jousset. We got another Aussie, I think, or is he New Zealand? I'm not sure. Well, Mikalev is from Oceania, that's for sure. And he hasn't fought in the UFC yet. He had his Contender Series fight. He dominated that. And Kevin Jousset is a fun fighter to watch. He has good striking, but he tends to be overpowered. I think he got overpowered by Brian Battle, which is not to say that you can get overpowered by Brian Battle. Don't get me wrong. Brian Battle is a pretty big welterweight, and Kevin Jousset is not. And you saw that in that fight. So I think it's gonna be a tough fight for Mikalev. But he's gonna break him at some point, and he's gonna finish him, I think, in the second rounds. And I made a mistake in my, yeah, like this. Jonathan Mikalev, finish in round 2 is my prediction for that one. Rongju versus Cody Steele. I gotta say, Rongju has a lot of losses, like a lot. And he hasn't been in the UFC for that long. It's not that the losses are all in the UFC. He lost a couple in the regional scene. And Cody Steele has a lot more experience than his records show because he has a lot of grappling experience. So he lost a lot of the grappling experience, but I think he just did it to get more well-rounded in that regard and didn't care about winning or losing. I think he cares about winning or losing in MMA. I don't think he cares that much in grappling. He just wants to get better. So I don't think Rongju will finish Cody Steele by grappling in any sort of way. So Cody Steele's gonna win this one. I think it's gonna take a while. I think Rongju is not the kind of person that goes away easy. So I think a TKO in round 3 for Cody Steele. Next up, we got Colby Thickness versus Alexandre Topuria. Alexandre, let's say in Spanish, Alexandre Topuria. Even though they're Georgian. But yeah. The first fight of the prelims. Colby Thickness versus Alexandre Topuria. It's a contender fight. It is. Colby Thickness got this on short notice, so it might be a little early for him. But he's a very strong grappler. And Topuria is a very strong striker, I imagine. So the question is, who's gonna impose his will and whose game plan is gonna carry through? And that's tough to answer, I think. But I think with a corner that an Alexandre Topuria this early on in his career already has behind him, I think he can handle it and stay on the feet and win a unanimous decision. I'm not convinced yet that he is as good as his brother. You have to show us, Alexandre. You have to show us. All right. Next up in the prelims, we have women's flyweight Wang Kong versus Bruna Brazil. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Here we go. I think it's going to be maybe the closest decision of the night. I don't know which other fight could be as close as this one. They're both strikers. Wang Kong is the flyweight fighter. Bruna is moving up because she had problems making the weight at strawweight. She usually shows some good I think Wang Kong is gonna win this with volume. I think Bruna Brazil has the more flashy kind of striking, which can work. I mean, I think it's going to be a close decision towards Wang Kong, but I can totally see Bruna Brazil knocking her out in the first round. It could happen. But I think more likely is a close decision, 29-28, maybe even a split decision towards Wang Kong. Yeah, I stick with that. Close decision for Wang Kong. All right, moving on. We got in the lightweight division, Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Borshev. Yeah. Tom Nolan is a great striker. And Vyacheslav Borshev has an iron chin. So, I'm really unsure on this one, because I think there's two ways for this to go. Either Nolan cracks Borshev with something he hasn't felt before and TKOs him that way. Could be early. But since Borshev has such an iron chin, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets hit a couple of times, but then lands a sick counterattack on Nolan and just knocks him out. I can see that coming too. Because he has power himself. He has a lot of power himself. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised either way, but my tip's gonna be Tom Nolan, and I think he's gonna get it by TKO. It might even be an early TKO. Next up, we go to the featherweight division, Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. I don't think this is going to be a close fight. I think Jack Jenkins is getting a rather easy fight with Gabriel Santos. I think he's even on a, no, not a losing streak, but he lost a couple, I think. Am I right? Where is he? Okay. 1 second. I have to pull up the Prodigy. He lost 2 in the UFC. He's comes to the UFC, loses 2, wins 1. The one he wins by decision. And he's fighting against the leg breaker. Jack Jenkins, sick leg kicks, sick leg kicks. He lost his last fight, but he kind of got unlucky. His opponent was a lot bigger than him. And he took him down. And yeah. Landed on his shoulder. And I don't know what exactly happened, but his shoulder got fucked. So Jeppe Mariscal got the TKO. But Jack Jenkins, in that fight, he looked undersized. But I think he's going to dominate Gabriel Santos. I think he's going to finish him. And I think it's going to happen in round 2. TKO Jack Jenkins in round 2. Moving on. We go into the main card. We have Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. Francisco Prado. Yeah. What to say about that? I was a Jake Matthews fan since The Ultimate Fighter. And since I am a Jake Matthews fan, I have to admit that he tends to get hit a lot. He's super athletic. His punching speed does not seem too big. His reaction speed seems kind of slow. I think Prado's going to be too tough for him. And Jake Matthews is going to be gonna take another L at home. I feel like. By TKO in the 3rd round. That's my prediction. Francisco Prado via TKO in the 3rd round. Moving on. We got the light heavyweights. Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. Yeah. I think lately Jimmy Crute showed a lot of weakness. He got beaten by some really good guys. But in Alonzo Manningfield, maybe. He's good. But he's not top 3, top 5. He lost to Jamal, which anyone can lose on any day against Jamal. He just hits you once with a good shot. But Alonzo Manningfield and the Lionheart fight doesn't bode too well with me too. But Rodolfo Bellato got finished twice by Vito Petrino. Petrino is kind of he's not a prospect anymore. He lost 2. But he's a decent UFC fighter. But he lost twice to him and he got finished both times. So I think Jimmy Crute is going to be able to do the same. And he's going to get a TKO in round 2. Moving on the card. We have Justin Tafa versus Talison Teixeira. This might be a little early for Talison. It might be. Because if one thing Justin Tafa is, He's fucking tough. He's so tough. The Tafa boys are so tough. So it could happen. I can see it happening that Thaleson Teixeira hits him a couple of times. He doesn't get him out. He maybe dazes him a little bit and tries to go in, and then Justin Tafa just plants his feet and hits him back, and because Teixeira overextended. I can see that happen, but I think Justin Tafa is really hittable, and he's kind of slow. I mean, he's a heavyweight, of course, but I think he's kind of slow. So I think Thaleson Teixeira will keep on going with his streak, and he's going to get a TKO in the first round as well. But I can see Tafa out-toughening him, because he is very, very tough. Teixeira does not go for leg kicks that much. Tafa is really susceptible to leg kicks, so it would be good, but he doesn't do that. So yeah, like I said, I think Teixeira by TKO in round 1, actually. Co-main event, we have Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. Finally, we got 2 pictures. The only time in the entire card I got 2 pictures free available, because Sherdog and Bloody Elbow can't respond to a request. Moving on. Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez for the Women's Flyweight Championship. Well, going into this, it's pretty clear what will happen. Maybe not what will happen, but what the game plans are going to be. Weili's game plan is going to be stay on your feet. It's that. Try to defend as many takedowns as you can, and if you get taken down, try to pop up as quickly as possible. And Tatiana Suarez's game plan is going to be get in, get a hold of her, and take her down and dominate from there. The question is how the reality is going to play out, and I think Weili will defend most of the takedowns, and in striking, I'm sorry, but Tatiana is so rudimentary in her striking. I see no way of her out striking Zhang Weili, so I think Zhang Weili will win by defending most of the takedowns and dominating the striking. I think she's not going to finish her. I don't think she's going to finish her, so I say Zhang Weili by decision, but a pretty dominant one. All right, moving on to the main event. Dricus du Plessis defends his middleweight championship against Sean Strickland. Well, I'm biased in this fight, for sure. And I'm going to say why. I hope Dricus can do to Strickland what he did to Adesanya. But I'm really afraid that in the first meeting of Dricus and Sean, the clash of heads was really a deciding factor. It might be. Because before the clash of heads, Sean was looking a little better. And after the clash of heads, Dricus was taken over. So I really hope that Dricus can show that he improved himself and has a lot of finishing ability now, and maybe show the way he beat Izzy. Maybe he can take that and dominate Sean with it, but it's gonna be tough. I really don't like Sean Strickland's fighting style. I'm sorry. He's always like, yeah, we fight like men and then he just comes at you and tries to keep you at at distance, you know, that you can really hit him as soon as you try to load or set something up. He's gonna kick you on the belly button or jab you on the nose. I'm not saying it's a bad strategy, I'm just saying it's kind of boring for fans to watch. And yeah, I'm afraid that Sean will teep and jab to a unanimous decision. But I really, really hope that Dricus can finish him. That's going to be tough. It's going to be a very tough fight for Dricus without the clash of hands. Best of luck, Dricus. I really hope you beat him, because I don't think Sean Strickland needs more of a platform. I think his platform is too big as it is. It's my opinion. All right, let's do a quick run through, just to have you up to date. Park Yun-sung versus Niam Yargal Tumen Demberel. And it might, no. What just happened? Just got a weird sound. It sounded like my stream ended. And did it? Hello? No. I'm still here, I think. I don't know why Twitch is not here. Is Twitch here? Twitch, oh, okay. Twitch here. It just was bugging me out. Okay. Now we do a quick run through. Park Yun-sung versus Niam Yargal Turmen Demberel. I think Park Yun-sung in round 2 by TKO. That's what I said, no? Yeah, that's what I said. Cullen Salkild versus Anshul Jubli. I think Cullen Salkild, because he has tougher competition, and yeah, not sure how, but I think Salkild will win this fight. Jonathan Mikhailov versus Kevin Jousset. I think Jonathan Mikhailov will win this fight. I think he's going to finish him in the second round. Rongju versus Cody Steele. I think Cody Steele has the better resume. Rongju has lost a couple of times. I think Cody Steele is going to crack him sooner or later. I think TKO for Cody Steele in round 3. Prelims. Colby Thickness versus Alexandre Topuria. I think Alexandre will take this one because he probably has a good takedown defense and his striking is good. So I think he's going to win this, but this could go either way. Colby Thickness is not one to be underestimated. All right, Van Kong versus Bruno Brazil. I think clearly this is like I said before, this might be the closest fight, but I'm leaning towards Van Kong to win a close decision. In the light heavyweight division, we got Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Boschev. And as I said, I think Tom Nolan probably by TKO. But if the iron chin of Boschev still holds up and he's going to be able to land a counter shot, then he could also get the TKO. We will see. It wouldn't be surprising for me. But I think Tom Nolan's going to win this one. Next up, we got in the featherweight division, Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. I said before, Jack Jenkins has the nastiest leg kicks of them all. He's the leg breaker, and I think Gabriel Santos already learned that the UFC is a tough place to be. With going 1 and 2 in the UFC, and I think this one is not going to be better for him. TKO for Jack Jenkins in the second round. We move up to the main card. We have Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. As I said before, I think Jake Matthews is an athletic, good fighter, well-rounded, but he's lacking general speed and reaction speed. And I don't think he's going to be able to finish Francisco Prado, but I think it's a possibility that Francisco Prado is going to catch him throughout the fight. So maybe after gassing him out a little bit. So I'm leaning towards TKO for Prado in the third round. Next up, we got light heavyweights. Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. I think Jimmy Crute had his hype train kind of derailed with a lot of losses in a row. But I don't think that against Rodolfo Bellato he's in for another one. I think Rodolfo Bellato is a decent fighter, but I think Jimmy Crute has more potential and can go further. So I'm leaning towards Jimmy Crute in the second round by TKO. Next up, heavyweights. Justin Tafa versus Talisson Teixeira. As I said before, the Tafa boys are always able to surprise and get a viral knockout, but even though this is really early in the career of Teixeira, I think it should be a TKO for him, maybe even in the first round. I'm leaning towards first round TKO for Talisson Teixeira. Moving on to the co-main event, women's flyweight, Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. My pick is Zhang Weili because I think Tatiana Suarez's wrestling is great, but I think Zhang Weili's takedown defense is great too. Which will result in a lot of failed takedowns and a lot of stand-up, and Weili will dominate there, I think. So I think it's going to be a dominate decision with Weili retaining her title. Okay, last fight. Middleweight championship, Dricus du Plessis defense against Sean Strickland. As I said before, I hope Dricus can do to Strickland what he did to Adesanya, but I'm really afraid that head clash in the first fight of Sean versus Dricus was very decisive. I hope that Sean listened to anything in the media and the criticism towards his fighting style that came up. Like he says he's going to do a man dance and then he's going to teep and jab, and I hope he's going to change a little bit, change it up a little bit. But I don't know if he's going to do that. I think it's just, people don't usually change their style of fighting. The last person I saw changing their style of fighting was Clay Guida, I think. This was really weird, from fighting like a Tasmanian devil to fighting jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, and not doing anything. It was super weird. The Gray Maynard fight, if you saw that one, Clay Guida versus Gray Maynard, it's such a weird fight compared to all the other Clay Guida fights before. So weird. Wow. But I got off track. I'm sorry. My pick for the last fight of the night is sadly going to be Sean Strickland. I think he's going to teep and jab to a victory. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Dricus. I think he's going to have Dricus gassed. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Yes. I think he's going to have him gassed maybe at some point. I hope that Dricus can hit him hard enough to sit him down and then maybe finish him. I hope that's what's happening, but I'm afraid that Sean Strickland's going to win the decision. Not super dominantly. I think it's going to be like maximum 49-46 on all cards, but I think I would lean more towards 48, 47 for Strickland. All right, those are my picks for Saturday night. I hope this helped. If you were still looking for your picks on any betting site, I hope you had some fun. I had some fun. As I said, I'd like to prepare this a little bit better, but so far I don't have the allowance to use pictures. So yeah, we're getting better. We're getting better, and we'll do a reaction video right after the UFC event. Okay? Then later today, I'm actually not sure what I'm gonna do later, but I am gonna stream later. Actually, maybe even more Overwatch. I'm not sure yet. So, guys, stay tuned. I wish you guys a great day and have fun, and hopefully we see each other.